Tune in for another great episode of our Get Schooled virtual field trip programming, brought to you by RK Packaging.
Welcome back, explorers! One of our friends at a local school asked us to explore simple machines. So today we're doing just that, with a little twist. Simple machines make our lives easier. Some things in life take force, like lifting something heavy or transporting something large or eating your broccoli. Simple machines have the ability to change the strength and the direction of a force. There are 6 types of simple machines we're going to explore today. Here are some great examples given to us by the Science Museum of Western Virginia, and we'll see a lot later when we go to Mill Mountain Theater. Can you imagine a time before the wheel? Life must have been pretty different. But thanks to the invention of wheels and axles, we can transport heavy things, even ourselves, in vehicles like cars and wagons. Even airplanes have wheels and axles. Our next simple machine is something you've probably seen on a playground. It looks like this. One child sits on one end and one child on the other, and when they go up, this one goes down. Of course, on the playground it's called a seesaw, but in my office, we call this a lever. Levers are interesting because depending on the part of the lever, it takes different force. See? Actually, here's a game. I think there's a lever in my office that you probably have in the room you're sitting in as well. Can you see it? It's on the wall, and you press one side of the lever to turn something on and the other one to turn something off. Do you know what it is? That's right, it's a light switch. See, simple machines are all around us. The third simple machine is especially helpful when going from one elevation or height to another. You've probably seen these outside buildings to help people with strollers or wheelchairs get into them. While we call this a ramp in real life, as explorers we call this an inclined plane. We're going to see a lot of really cool examples of these later when we go exploring. The fourth one I quickly mentioned earlier. It's a cylinder with an inclined plane wrapped around it. We call it a screw, and you can use it to hold other things together. See? The fifth one is often paired with another simple machine to get the job done. Have you ever seen anyone splitting wood? Well, sometimes you'll take a wedge to force the piece of wood apart. Sometimes it does help to have a handle attached to the wedge though, like in an axe or even a kitchen knife. Many times you'll see a wedge and a lever working together in this way. The last one, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna save that to show you at our next destination, Mill Mountain Theater. They have a really cool one and I wanna see if you can find it before I do. Are you ready to go? Remember, all you need to be a good explorer is an imagination, the willingness to learn, and the ability to ask questions. And don't forget your Explorer Passport, which you can download at Center in the Squares On Demand page before we go. Ready to go? Come on. Let's go, explorers. Welcome back, explorers. Back in the Explorer office, I showed you a bunch of examples of simple machines. But did you know if you put 2 or more simple machines together, they can become a complex machine? Behind these doors, I have some friends who are going to show you how to make a simple machine into a complex machine in a very interesting way. Come along, explorers!
Hi, Explorer Peyton. Welcome. We're so excited to have you here at Mill Mountain Theater.
Thank you, Victoria.
Of course. I see you brought some explorers with you. Welcome, explorers. We're happy to have you. Welcome to Mill Mountain Theater's Waldron Stage. Today, we are going to be showing you some things that actors do in combination with some simple machines that you are learning about. So, as you can see, we've got some actors behind me. Everybody wave. These beautiful actors are some of our Mill Mountain Theater Conservatory students who have taken part in our classes over the years, and you can join us to take part in our classes this fall and become one of these famous PBS special students teaching us about simple machines today. So my actors are going to show us how actors use their imaginations, bodies, and voices to create art and to create work. They're going to do this by demonstrating for us with their bodies how some simple machines work and are created. So, actors, if we can go to our places for the first simple machine that we'll teach Explorer Peyton about, which is a lever. Go to your lever spots.
Thanks, actors.
A lever works by having a fulcrum in the middle and usually some sort of plank that can operate back and forth, at least for this type of lever. As Explorer Peyton and all of my students know, one of the most fun types of levers to use that allows us to be raised and lowered is a seesaw. So our students are going to demonstrate for you how we would use a lever and fulcrum in the center to make a seesaw go up and down if our students were riding on it whenever you're ready. Beautiful. Oh, so much fun. I wish I was at the playground. Incredible, my students. Thank you so much. So that is how a lever might work in a seesaw situation if we were going to build that with our voices and our bodies, although it was mostly my voice that time, I'll be honest. The next machine that we're going to show you is a pulley. Go to your spots for a pulley, please. A pulley is another simple machine that we use in the theater and in our lives quite a bit, and it allows things to be moved up and down or side to side, usually using a rope and some metal pieces. So if you see the way my students are set up here, we've got sweet Emily at the front who's going to be pretending to be a bucket today. We've got the attachments from the rope, her sweet sister Juliet and Oliver, who are going to help lift our bucket into the air using the support of their ensemble pulley system here, and our, of course, very strong actor puller Holden in the back, who's going to pull this invisible rope connected to Emily and help us raise this bucket up into the air. All right, students, whenever you are ready, 1, 2, 3, pull. And up she goes. And one more time, 1, 2, 3, pull. And there goes the rope. And
Great work, bucket.
Incredible, my students. Well done. So that is how a simple pulley might work in the theater. The next machine that our students are going to show you just requires them to switch a couple of places and get set for our incline plane. An incline plane, go to your spaces for incline plane. The two of you that have to move somewhere. Beautiful. An incline plane, as we know, is on an incline, kind of like a rake in the theater might be, where there's a slope involved. There are several of these in the theater. They can be staircases, they can be ramps, but our students are just demonstrating it by moving to two different places so that we can use their heights to show you how an incline plane would work. So if Oliver and Juliet were the same height, and Emily and RP in the back were the same height, this plank would be pretty level. And I could put a piece of wood on top of my students, and it would allow me to roll something up them, or I could turn them into a staircase and climb up them, and go from low to high on this inclined plane to maybe even reach those lights all the way up there. And that is how an inclined plane might work. Thank you, students, for showing us this. The next machine that we would like to show you is a wheel and axle, So we'll make our wheel and axle on this center line here, and I will get out of your way. Sorry, Explorer Peyton.
That's okay.
A wheel and axle. So a wheel and axle allows all of our cars to work, right? It allows all sorts of things that we do nowadays to happen. An axle sits under the bottom of each of our car tires and holds up these wheels on the end that then rotate in order to let the car move forward. So if Explorer and Peyton and I were in this enormous car and we had another set of wheel and axles back here, we could move on down the road using the wheel and axles created by the students. Beautiful work, students. The next machine we're going to show you is a wedge. A wedge. So my students are going to make a wedge shape for us, and we'll get to see how that'll work. Beautiful, beautiful. A wedge is kind of like a triangle, but as we all know, it allows things to be filled in a certain way. So a wedge might fill in like a wedge of cheese on a cheese wheel, or it might fill in a spot like a doorstop might go under a door. So if this was a giant wedge doorstop, and Explorer Peyton and I were a giant door swinging forward, we would get blocked by this 3D wedge, and we would have to stop where we were and stay open, because the triangle allows the square to be stopped. So these students are demonstrating a beautiful wedge for us on the ground right now. And last but not least, the last of the simple machines that they're going to use their imaginations to create is a screw. So if we create a plank of wood, and perhaps it's a stubborn plank of wood, it wants to move around a lot, just like the planks of wood that we're standing on right now wanted to move around a lot. But we have our famous screw Emily here in the middle. Explorer Peyton, screw Emily down into the ground and see what happens for us. Oh, there she goes. And now my floor is still, because our screws allow us to secure things by using a rotating motion to hold them in place and then the screws are formed in such a way that they can't come back out. So just like our floor paneling that we're standing on, our students are demonstrating how one little screw can help secure a whole piece of wood in place. Very well done, students. Let's make a line here. Beautiful. So those are some of our simple machines that we can create using our bodies as our imaginations as actors. Well done, students. I'm going to let all of our explorers out here meet our explorers in here. So we'll start down here with Oliver, and you can introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Oliver.
Hi, I'm Cameron. Hi, I'm Juliet. Hi, I'm Emily. Hi, I'm Emily. Hello, I'm Riley. Hi, I'm Ruth. Hello, I'm Holden.
Awesome. So explorers, thank you so much for joining us today. And my explorer actor students in here, please give yourselves a round of applause for helping us create such beautiful machines. Well done, everybody. Thank you, Explorer Peyton, for joining us. And thank you, explorers. We hope to see you in our Mill Mountain Theater fall classes coming up soon.
Thank you, Victoria, and thank you, explorers, for helping me understand some of these concepts I was having a little trouble figuring out. It was so nice to see how some simple machines can maybe become more complex machines when we go across the street and see Matt. Thank you so much, explorers. Stay tuned for more fun at Mill Mountain Theater, and keep asking questions. Welcome back, explorers. Can you guess where we are now? If you guessed a scene shop, you were right. This is the Mill Mountain Theater Scene Shop, where these people right next to me, some theater technicians, build all of the props and the scenery you see on plays and musicals here at Mill Mountain Theater. So I have Drew and Matt with me today to show you how we use simple machines and some more complex machines to make their lives easier. Hi, guys.
Hey. Hi, I'm Drew and this is Matt, and today we're going to show you how we use simple and complex machines to work smarter, not harder, here at Mill Mountain Theater. Come on. Yep.
Ooh, sorry.
Peyton, I don't think that's going to work.
Well, what do you suggest?
Well, if you use a simple machine like an inclined plane, you might be able to get the card in a lot more easily. Here. Try that.
How
See, that's
nice.
much easier. Okay, Peyton, so here we have some examples of levers. This one right here has a lever on this thing right here. And when I squeeze it, it helps me hold things together.
Cool.
Like that. And then I can use this big crowbar as a lever, and I can stuff it underneath platforms or other things that are stuck to help move them around. Next, I want to talk to you about wedges. Now, a wedge is something with an incline that is sharp, is used to cut things. And I keep a wedge in my pocket every day, my trusty pocket knife. And I can use this whenever I need it to maybe cut a little rope. Just take it like that, get a little nice piece of rope for me.
Well, Drew, I actually heard about another example of a wedge. Victoria told me about it. A doorstop.
Oh.
You could just put it under the door and then it holds the door open even though the door is so much bigger. Isn't that exciting?
Where did you get that? Now, speaking of inclined planes, we also have screws. And screws are just inclined planes that are wrapped around a pole. And we have little ones and we have big ones that we use to help us put pieces of wood together to build our sets.
It's a lot of simple machines.
Sure is. And here we have a wheel and an axle. This helps us pick up big furniture or refrigerators or even big pieces of scenery and move them all around the theater.
Cool.
I thought so.
Some machines we use, Peyton, are combinations of simple machines, like this winch here. It connects these pulleys to a set of wheel and axles that we operate from this lever that screws on the bottom. So by pulling this, we move the pulley to bring heavy scenery off stage.
So does that make this group of simple machines a complex machine?
That's right.
Yes. You know, Drew, I think our explorers at home might like to learn a little more about pulleys.
Absolutely. And here in the theater, we have tons of pulleys. I've got one right here and some over my head.
That looks really heavy.
It is really heavy, but thanks to pulleys, all the stuff like our lights and our curtains get a lot lighter. Why don't we go talk to Matt and he can show us how they work.
Sure. Hi, Matt.
This is another complex machine we use all the time in the theater. This is our fly set system. It combines a lever here, which activates the brake and stops the ropes from moving. And we can operate the ropes through a set of pulleys here and down here that lets scenery and curtains fly on stage. Here we go.
He can't hear me yet. But that's okay. You know what, Drew? Where'd he go? Well, I guess that's our cue to go back to the office. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Drew, for showing me all the ways simple and more complex machines can make theater come alive here at Mill Mountain Theater. Let's go, Explorers! Welcome back, Explorers! I had a great time at Mill Mountain Theater seeing how they use simple machines to make their jobs easier. It was also great to see how the conservatory students use their body to make different examples of simple machines. What was your favorite? Make sure to send me a picture of your favorite machine as well as your Explorer passport. Can't wait to see you next time, Explorers. Bye!